Dividing retirement accounts. How much is your spouse entitled to? Hi, I'm Dustin McCrary, divorce attorney and founder of the law office of Dustin McCrary. Today, I'd like to discuss a topic that I'm frequently asked about, and that is, how much of my retirement plan is my spouse entitled to? The answer, in 2 words, is it depends. I know that this may not seem like much of an answer at all, but this is one of those areas of divorce law that's particularly dependent upon the facts of your personal situation. After all, we all take different paths in life. Some of us get married a bit later in life, after we've already worked for a fairly long amount of time and accumulated a decent amount of retirement. In other cases, couples get married very young, and the entirety of the retirement savings they've accumulated during marriage. This ultimately ends up being important because property accumulated prior to the date of the marriage is typically considered separate property, while assets that the couple acquires during the course of the marriage, even if it's only one partner who's working and contributing to the retirement fund, are considered marital property. There are other factors that come into play as well, however, even as part of trying to determine whether the property is marital or separate. For example, I'm often asked about the increase in value of property that one party or the other owned before the marriage. Typically, retirement accounts do grow over time, and as long as that growth is passive income, it will still typically be found to belong to the spouse who earned it prior to the marriage. On the other hand, if the couple actively works together to increase the value of an asset, the amount of the increase is typically found to be marital property. Clearly, then, it's important to analyze when the money was obtained, how it was obtained, and what's happened to the value of that asset over time. It's also important to take a close look at the type of retirement plan that's being divided. A standard 401k plan that acts effectively as a savings account can be divided down the middle with relative ease. By contrast, other plans like defined benefit plans that have some contributions coming from employers in the future, and other similar varieties of plans where the amount to be divided is harder to determine. Other parties may decide to retain actuaries, financial analysts, and tax specialists to help them correctly determine the total value of their retirement accounts, taking into consideration tax consequences and other factors as well. Ultimately, calculating how much your spouse will receive is not a simple process. Plenty of calculations and negotiations are typically involved, and everyone's situation is going to be slightly different. In addition, it's important to remember that any property division process during a divorce is a give and take. Even if you technically may owe half of your retirement account, as a couple, you may decide instead to exchange other assets worth the same amount. In the end, the best thing to do is to consult with your attorney and other qualified professionals who can help you take a close, clear look at the numbers and at other options. Together, you can work with your spouse and his or her attorney to decide what's best for your family and your future. If you're contemplating or in the midst of a divorce and you need help with this or any other aspect of the process, I'm here to help. Call me anytime.